So today I want to give my first impressions on my new build. This is the Lumenier QAV-Pro Whoop 5-inch Cinequads Edition, and it's the frame kit. So I bought the frame kit from Get FPV, and then I assembled it myself and put my own parts in, including a Speedy B stack, the Lumenier 2807 1950 kV motors, and I have the Walk Snail GT system with some true RC antennas on the back, and just a very simple GPS M10 that I have here mounted on the top. So I want to kind of give my impressions on just not only on the build itself, but first couple of flights and putting it to the test for anybody that's interested in getting a Cinequad, but for a 5-inch, on the 5-inch version. They do have other versions in other sizes, but I stuck with the 5-inch. Couple reasons why I decided to go with this frame kit for Cinewhoop was, number one, I like the Lumenier brand. Been very happy with the products that I've purchased, not only from Get FPV, but other places. And two, I wanted prop guards on a 5-inch. I have the 3.5-inch GEP-RC Cinewhoop that I fly, but I wanted 5-inch. I wanted some more power. I want to be able to put not only a full-size GoPro, which I can do on my other 5 inches, but I have some DJI transmission equipment I want to put because I want to be able to stream video live when I'm flying. So that was a motivation for me to get something that can carry the weight in a familiar size that I've already have been using. So this kit itself, fully assembled, measures about 12 inches wide, and about, I'll say with this GoPro in the way, let's just move it out of the way. Get a good one. We're looking at about almost 11 inches on the length, and the height is going to be about 1.5 inches. So it's a good size drone. Again, it's just slightly bigger than a typical 5-inch because of the prop guards. And then to get a weight, okay, grams, and let's put with the GoPro on. So 912 grams. And this is with the GoPro, no battery. So it, again, depends on the size battery that you're going to be using. I've been using an 1800 milliamp battery when I'm flying. I got some 2200s that I'm going to try out as well. And of course, that does not include the DJI equipment that I'm going to put on there. And we're looking at least another 238 grams when this is put on and connected. It's missing a couple parts, but yeah, we're looking at about 1152 grams. So we're gonna have to try it out when try out a flight with all the accessories attached. But for right now, that's how we're gonna get started. And let's dive into it. So for me, this was the first time I built a Cinewhoop this big. You know, one of the couple reasons why I decided to go with this frame kit is, number one, I've been happy with the Lumenier products that I have purchased before. Two, I'm happy with Get FPV. I buy a lot of products and drones from them. And third, I wanted to have prop guards for a 5-inch. I have a 3.5-inch GEP-RC that I already use, but I wanted more power and I wanted to be able to carry more. So not just only a full-size GoPro 13, but I have some. But I also have some DJI transmission modules that I want to attach so I can stream live from the drone when in flight. So I needed something that had a little bit more power to not only carry the equipment that I wanted, but to be able to work on the kind of videos that I produce with my drones. All right, so back to the drone itself. Now, my setup currently, I have a Speedy B stack in here. I have the Lumenier motors that they recommended. These are the 2807 1950 kV motors. I am running a Walk Snail GT for my video transmission and some true RC antennas that I do have here on the back. And that's just the GPS unit I'm using, just the M10 that I have mounted right here on the top. So I've had this for about 2 weeks and I am impressed. It is a lot more expensive than what I would have liked to pay for a frame kit, but again, when you're getting into these cine lifters and want to be able to carry more equipment, This is for what I see in a good starter, and it's at a reasonable price. I didn't really want to spend more than $500 on just a frame when I still had to put all the electronics into it to get it flying. So now I want to talk about pros and cons with this build. Now keep in mind though, I only bought the frame kit. So as far as functionality, a lot of this, the rest of this deals with what I decided to put in there. So as far as the stack, as far as the antennas, as far as the video transmission, everything else besides the frame was my preference. Again, everyone's going to have a different preference of what they want to use, but I'm going to talk specifically about how it works overall as a whole, not only just the frame itself, but how it flies with my current setup. And I'll put a link in the description for a list of all the parts that I use for this build. So let's get started. First off, this is a very sturdy drone. When you pick it up, you can feel it. It feels very rigid, which is great. It's all the carbon fiber for the frame itself. But it's, like I said, I feel very confident that it's going to last hopefully in the event that it does crash or bumps into something. So another pro from my setup is that this camera does sit back a little from the frame. So it is a little recessed, so it's not flush with the pop guards, which is great because it gives it a little bit more protection in case you do bump into something. But again, if you come head on, you're going to nail right into this camera and you'll probably have to replace it. Another pro with this is I do have the camera mount, this is a separate mount that you have to purchase. It does have this alpha gel in between. Let me see if I can show it right here. So it helps with getting rid of vibrations. Of course, right now I'm just using a GoPro, which really doesn't matter that much because I always do my stabilization in gyro flow. But again, this does help. I do like this because, and the reason why I added this one on right now is that it has a lot of options for straps. It came with 2 big straps, so that was really nice. But when I mount the extra equipment, there's a lot of different options on how to mount and I feel comfortable not only with these holes, but also the battery straps or just the straps that I'll be able to tie down anything and feel comfortable that it's in there, it's holding solid. Another pro, and I don't know how much you can see in here, but inside the actual drone, there is a lot of space, which is really nice because, you know, on some of my 5-inch drones, I feel like I have to really cram everything in just to make it work. But on this one, there is plenty of space. Let's see if I can get a better view inside, which makes it really nice and easy to put all your accessories and all your parts without feeling like you're overlapping or having to potentially sacrifice or wire them up in a different way just to make it work or just to make it fit. So that is definitely a pro. Okay, so let's talk about some of the cons that I have with this build. Again, just my personal experience, personal opinion. There's probably other ways to do what I did, so keep that in mind, that just because I said it worked this way for me does not mean it's going to work that way for you. One is, and this is more of a manufacturing and shipping issue, but right now with the way I have my Walksnail Avatar mounted, it's actually using the DJI-03 air unit mount. What happened was they send you these kind of universal FPV camera mounts, but I don't know if you can see right here, mine came without mounting holes. So this probably got missed in when it was being produced. Good thing is that Get FPV, I already reached out to them and they are shipping me new FPV camera plates, which will have the holes. So you won't have that issue hopefully when you buy your frame. But for me, I did run into this. Kind of frustrating because it does set me back a little bit of time before I can really try it out, since the 03 unit mounting the Walksnail system does not fit perfectly and I get a lot of jello when I'm flying, and I'm curious to see how much that's going to change when I use the actual kind of the universal camera plates. So another con that I have, and this might just be by how I have set it up, but these center core plates, these you can see them running right here. There's 2 of them. You get 2 in a set. So on each one, this is the actual between the top and bottom parts of the frame. But when I mounted my stack, it's a 30 by 30, and let me see if I can show you. The USB plug right here, the USB, actually lined up. Let me see if I can get it better. There it goes. It actually lined up and was blocked by the plate, the center core plate. And so what I actually had to do is I actually had to trim the frame kit so that way I can access the USB-C and have the orientation correct. So this was kind of a little frustrating. I don't see that I mounted it incorrect. There's only, for a 30 by 30, there's only the 4 holes to use. I guess I could have used some spacers and raised the stack or the FC a little bit higher, and then it probably would have actually worked if I had it right up here. But again, it's kind of at this, kind of would have gone across right here. It probably would have blocked it either way. So I'm sure I could have turned my flight controller and rotated it and then attach it. And then of course I can just in Betaflight set the orientation correctly. I really didn't want to do that. I just kind of wanted to have it set up the way I'm comfortable and always have. So for me, this was a kind of a miss. If you've encountered the same thing or something different, let me know. But this is what I had to do. And like I said, I just trimmed the frame kit a little bit, and now I can access the USB-C. It comes with the USB-C extension cord, so which is nice. I don't have to run a cable all the way in there. I can just plug in the extension, and then when I'm connecting for Betaflight, I can plug that in without any issue. So as far as my cons with this frame kit go, that was really it. Again, some of this could be just preference. Some of this could be asking for more than just what this frame kit was designed for. But as far as flying, it works out very well. I like the way it feels when I fly. I didn't have to set too many rates differently than what I would say on my normal freestyle 5-inch. But it does take some getting used to and getting more comfortable with having a bigger drone when you're out there flying. Overall, like I said, I still have to put a lot of testing into this to see how it's going to work when I have my DJI transmission kit on here as well, how it's mounted down, a bigger battery, and see what my flight times are going to be. Right now, I would say with some conservative flying, I had an 1800 milliamp battery, and I was pushing about 7-8 minutes with it. Again, it wasn't aggressive flying. It was mostly just flying around the park. But again, even with the GoPro attached and running, I was still getting 7-8 minutes. So with a bigger battery, I'm sure I can push that to close to 10 minutes, which is great with a 5-inch with the GoPro mounted.